Welcome to our Wealthy Witches Level 1 free money training. This has been busting out of me. So I'm really excited to bring you this training because this is everything. Like, I am so passionate about this because number one, I'm so damn passionate about getting wealth into the hands of conscious, spiritual entrepreneurs who are here to make great impact and change the world. So if you are a spiritual badass entrepreneur who knows that you're here to impact the many and create a massive shift in global consciousness, money needs to be in your hands, right? There's a lot of bad stigma around money. We know that. We're trained like that as a society, but we know that money in the hands of good, soul-hearted, conscious entrepreneurs who are here to make big impact and change the world, then we need the money in the right hands. Like, with the money in the right hands, we can make massive positive impact in the world. You'll be able to build your dream retreat and community and have everyone living like hippies. No, probably not. Luxury hippies. Right, because we're hippies at heart, right? We love this stuff. So welcome to this free money training. I'm really excited. I didn't know what to call it, and I was like, it's Wealthy Witches Level 1. This is like, I want to say basic stuff, but this is something that is like so normal to me. But let's be real, I did not start here, right? I did not start here. So when I just clear my throat. Okay, don't mind my voice. I've been like, I only got 4 hours sleep last night. The past like week, I've had like 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours if I'm lucky. Not because I can't sleep, because I've been like on this immersion spurt is what I call it. And you're going to understand what I'm talking about as I go into this money training, because this is so important, right? People talk about, oh, balance, and I don't want to get up at 5 a.m. And I'm like, well, let's just be real. You don't want to do this. Okay. Right. So good morning. Welcome to everybody who's here. I posted in this Reality Awareness support group, which is where I'm holding this free training to begin with. I think it's a tiny little bit crooked. Let me just see if I can, my little Virgo perfectionist stance there. Okay. So I just wanted to, like, you know, come in here and do this because it's been on my mind for quite some time. And then I was going to do like an elaborate like Zoom, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to do it in here. And then I was like, oh, I don't know, I have to like prepare. And I'm like, no, you don't. You know this stuff. And I was like, you know, I'm just going to see what intuitively flows through, because that's where the magic is. And I do have, I asked you guys in here what specific questions like you want answered. And I'm going to go through, like, I created a mini training from this, like from all your questions basically, and like the really important points and the really fucking crucial things that you must stop doing immediately if you want more money. Okay. Whether you're like doing a spiritual business or not is irrelevant. That what I'm going to teach in this training today is going to shift your level of income. Okay. Whether you're on the pension, whether you're in a career that you don't see how you can earn more money, whether you're a single mom, whether you're married, whether, like, it's irrelevant to what you do. And of course, if you have any sort of business or a spiritual business, this money training is for you. So, all right, first of all, I'm just going to bring out this other piece here. And if you pop in, like, with anything that I'm saying, if you've got questions or anything like that, just pop them in as I'm talking. And I'll do a check over of the questions at the end. Some of them I might speak to as I see them pop up, because I might be already going to be talking about them. So bonus. Okay. Okay, perfect. That's fine. Okay. All right, and I just see there's a couple here. I'm just going to grab these last little quick questions that I see here. Okay, perfect. So I do have a little bit of a structure about what I'm going to talk about. because I want to make sure that I cover everything that you guys had asked me. But it's really, you know, a free flow, but I just wanted to make sure I'm going to cover specific things. So let me just bring this over. Okay, so let's officially start. Welcome. Okay, and first of all, I'm going to give you, like, in this training, you're probably going to be triggered. Okay, I'm just giving you a little disclaimer. And in the past, I have been very, and the way I'm going to start this live stream, this training, this Wealthy Witches Level 1, okay, this training is for you. If you're a spiritual badass entrepreneur who knows that you're here to create massive impact in the world, shift global consciousness, I was going to say shift global conflict, we're doing that too, because that's what we do, right? And live an abundant, wealthy life, right? Like, for real. Like, no, like, let's just like shift this money struggle. It's bullshit. Let's get out of that fucking cycle. Let's do this. So, number one, I'm going to start with a little story, a little share about where I've been, where I've come from, what I've done, and how I've got here, because I honestly, the way you see me today is not where I began, okay? Like, and you have to remember that any successful person that you see on the nets, on the books, on the trainings, on the whatever, they have began most of the time with nothing, okay? And, you know, we have to remember that the overnight success that you see is like 10, 15, 20 years of dedicated work. So if you're not here for the long run, if you're going to run away when it gets hard, if you're going to like fall apart and you disappear and take somebody's comment personally, this is not for you, okay? But I want to say that I've been all of those people. I've been highly reactive, okay? When somebody said something to me, when somebody's tried to show me something else or tell me a different way, I'm like, nah, I'll do it my way. And that's cost me a lot, okay? One thing is like, next year I'm going to run the 12 Divine Steps to Awakening Your Life Purpose again. And number 2 step to awakening your life purpose is open-mindedness. Number 3 is willingness to implement what we've learned when we have an open mind. And the first step is being fucking honest with whether you're being reactive and closed off and like pushing money away with your reactions and your energy. Like, let's be honest here, because I've definitely done that for a long time for many, many reasons that I'm going to drop into throughout this training for you. So, number 1, the reason you have not got the money, the business, the love life, the anything, like the reason you are not where you want to be right now is because you fucking gave up. You gave up. You gave up. The reason you do not have the monies, the business, the clients, the lifestyle, the love life is because you fucking gave up. You gave up when it was hard. You gave up when your family and friends told you to stop doing this psychic shit. You gave up, 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 you fucking gave up. Now, I have given up 50 million times over. 50 million times over, I have given up. I have wanted to walk away. I've walked away. I've said, fuck it. I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I have said that more times than I can count. You ask my best friend, she hears it all. But she turns around and she says to me, I believe in you. You can do this. You create miracles out of nothing. And I'm like, that's right, I do. I know I do. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going somehow. I was never going to walk away. I was never going to walk away. I was never going to. But in the purging, I say that to just, get it out. This is part of the purging, okay? It's part of it. This is what we do. And we only need that one friend to hold us strong, or that one mentor to anchor us in, or that one soul tribe of wealthy witches who is also doing this. If you listen to your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, your boyfriend who is scared of money and scared of you leaving him because you're going to outgrow him very quickly, if you listen to any of those people, you will give up. and you will walk away and you go, oh yeah, you're right, I'll just try and look for a normal job. And then your soul's like dying over here, and like the little witch inside of you is just like getting more resentful and angry and tired and depressed because she's fucking suffocating. She is suffocating inside. You can be around people who do not agree with your lifestyle, mindset, and the money and the wealth that you want to create. You can definitely be around those people, but you have to be so consciously aware and dedicated in your mindset, not just protecting your energy, but who are you listening to most of the time? Okay, the reason that you don't have the money, the life, the success, the business, the money, the wealth, the clients, the relationship, all of those things, it's because you fucking gave up, is because you listen to those people in your life that are not on this trajectory of you're here to change the fucking world, okay? And you also listen to the demons in your own mind and soul. Let's be real. Okay? Now, if you, like, the thing is that you can be around those people, but it's harder work, okay? It's harder work, and you need to be so conscious of what you're absorbing. So let me give a little bit of insight to where I've been and to where I am now. And the things that I do now are the things I do in the beginning, and I haven't changed those things that I did in the beginning and what I'm doing now. They've become the basis of what I do on a daily basis. They make me who I am. They fill my mind, okay, with where I'm going, what I'm doing, who I am, who I'm showing up to be, all those things. Okay, does that mean that I don't fall? Does that mean I don't fall down and cry and think it's not working and not sure what I'm doing anymore? Like, I'm the fucking life purpose queen. I'm supposed to have it together and know my purpose and all the things. And like, do you know, literally like 2 days ago, someone said to me, oh, I see you like in your purpose and you're just like flying, and I'm just still trying to figure it out. And I'm like, it's so funny people see me that way because I'm still trying to figure it out and I don't know most of the time. No joke. But I know that when I turn up, the message comes through. I know that when I show up, I'm fully supported by spirit. I know that there's an intuition that wants me to say something, but I don't know what it is until I get on live stream and I start sharing that message. Most of the time, I'm walking in deep uncertainty, but there's a deep trust in what I do, and where I know I'm meant to like help people. Okay, if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, you know you need to help people. You're probably recovering people pleaser. You're probably coming out of toxicity relationships because you didn't trust yourself, because you're full of trauma, because childhood, whatever the story is, right? And it's like, but you're wanting to change this. And the thing is why you don't have what you want right now is because you gave up too soon. Okay. All right. So a little bit of a recap of a story of where I've come from and where I am now. So I've built Reality Awareness to be over $1 million company. That is with no outside help. That is with no, I want to say no loans in the beginning. Okay. So let's go back. And by the way, like if this is resonating with you or you want a deeper insight, I share a lot of my journey of wanting to give up in my business here. Right before I hit the $1 million mark, I wanted to walk away for good, okay? Like, it was hard, and it's literally the epitome of that, you know, the pic, you know, we see the fucking, what the fuck is it called? The meme, right? The cartoon meme of like the two people digging for the diamonds under the dirt, right? And the one person's given up and walked away, and it's like this far in the dirt when they've built this big long, dug this big long tunnel, and they're about to break through. The hardest part is always just before you're about to have a breakthrough. And if you don't have that as your number one affirmation that you're journaling and reminding yourself and having your, having it on your journal every day to remind you, and your reminders coming up on your phone, like if you don't have that mindset, you are going to be the one who walked away when the diamond was right like 2 inches away. Okay? Mindset. You hear it all the time, okay? You literally hear it all the time from successful entrepreneurs. If you followed any money mindset queens, Amanda Francis, Regan Hillier, Katrina Ruth, I don't know, there's millions of them out there, okay? If you don't, you hear it all the time. It's 90% mindset or 80% mindset and 20% doing stuff in the physical world, okay? It's a bit like when I, teach about trying to leave a toxic relationship and you haven't done the past life work, you're going to keep going in a loop because the past life energetics hasn't been done, right? So you can try and leave physically and you do, but you go back or whatever the story is. But unless you heal that deep inner stuff on an energetic level, you're going to stay in the physical loop because we know it's not just physical, right? And building a spiritual business or any business or increasing your income in any which way, shape or form is exactly the same. It's the same concept. Like, you guys are psychic. You guys are healers. You guys have a gift, right? You wouldn't be here as a wealthy witch. You wouldn't be here as a spiritual entrepreneur who knows they're here to help people and change the world, even if it's not on a huge, impactful level. Maybe you want to be introvert at home and write books. I mean, like, hello, that's what I do. Why do you think I'm on a computer screen and I'm not out in the world? No, I'm kidding. Kind of. I know eventually I'll get there, but I've been raising my daughter. Whatever. You get the point. Okay, let me bring up my notes here. Let's stay focused. Okay, so let's go through this, okay? So number one is where the thing about staying broke, okay, most people who, okay, and I'm not talking to everybody here, okay, because some people are, I want to say, born into wealth and it's easier for them to create wealth, but that doesn't mean they don't have money blocks, doesn't mean they don't have energetic stuff, doesn't mean they don't have stuff, because they do, okay? The difference between successful people you see up on stage and the people you don't see on stage who are like, oh, it's not working for me, is that these people did it anyway, these people gave up. They're like, oh yeah, I don't know how to do it. These people just fucking did it and that just happened. Because why? Because spirit's backing them, their soul's backing them, they know they're meant to do it and they know the message will come through. Okay? So the thing about where, just going back to my story first before I start going through these, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 6 steps here, okay? They're just little pieces that I really want to speak to in this training. So, you know, like you see Reality Awareness now as a $1 million company, depending on when you're watching this video in the future, but it would be a multi-million-dollar company. But I began as a single mum on the government pension, you know, with child support. I don't have family around. I'm estranged from my family. And I became more estranged when I took my business online to do this. Why? Because they saw what I do for the first time in, I don't know, 10 years or whatever since I left home in Perth, because I don't really see them on the other side of Australia. But when I came online, they all of a sudden started seeing what I do, and like my sister's ringing me and my mum's partner's ringing me, and it's like, stop doing this psychic shit, put your daughter in school, what are you doing, stop being, and I'm just like, I was floored. Like, here I am on fire, so happy I've found my fucking thing and my outlet online, and here are the people closest to me, my fucking family, telling me to stop doing something that I love, that's who I am, that I'd been doing for 10 years, but because I wasn't online, I didn't really see it. Because we live on the other side of the country, you don't see them, right? Don't know what their life's like. Like, that floored me. That floored me. And to be honest, like, if I really look at, you know, it's been 7-8 years now, if I look at, like, it was like the first 2.5 years of turning up, figuring it out, I was like, what the fuck? And as soon as I started actually making money, as soon as I made my first 100K in 5 months online, by the way, it was 2.5 years. 2.5 years, are you getting this? 2.5, the reason you don't have the money, the business, the life, and the relationships, the clients, the dream life you want and crave and know is for you, or you wouldn't be here listening to this. Like, you know deep down you're here for more. You know deep down you're ready, like, for this, right? Like, the reason you don't have what you want is because you fucking gave up. It took me 2.5 years of building organically. Now, when I'm talking, okay, I didn't have a backing, I didn't have investors, I didn't have a loan, I was a single mum on the fucking pension, for God's sake. I turned up every single day blogging and live stream. I didn't have a chunk of money to invest in advertising, right? But I was willing to do whatever it took for as long as it takes until it takes. Right? It was like 2.5 years. I was 18 months into turning up, blogging and live streaming every day. Okay, because we build a momentum when we turn up and we share our message, even if we don't know what we're turning up and sharing our message. But you might know how to do readings. You might have your own little gift of whatever you do. And it's like, the thing that builds a business is consistency. Consistency, right? Every single day, it becomes who you are. right? And none of this balance shit. Like when you're building a business in the start, it's going to be full on. It's going to challenge you. People around you are going to challenge you. You're going to be tested to no end. You're going to be fucking tired. You're going to walk away. You're not going to have the investment backing. You're not going to have the income to come in. You're not. Like, let's be real about this. I'm here to be real. This is not for everybody, okay? But if you know deep in your soul that you are not meant to live a normal life, and you know that you're here to change generational patterns, break out, live the life of your dreams in all areas, your health, your wealth, your relationships, like your dream career, like if you know deep in your soul that that is what you're meant to do, then this is for you. Okay, because I've seen many people over the 7 years go, yeah, I want to do this, and they start and then they just get sort of sidetracked, or they go offline, or they whatever, and that's fine. It's not meant for them, okay? But it broke them out of something, and maybe it healed their internal relationships with their family, and they're going and living their normal life with their family and doing their things. Awesome, it healed them, okay? But for those who know they're here for more, this is the breaking out, and you will be tested. You will have everyone leave you. You will have people doubt you. You will have that around you. But if you know deep down that this is what you're born for, then you are like, this is like, you won't give up, right? I was 18 months to building online. When, I was listening to my mentor. Okay. And this is part of like, who are you listening to? Who are you feeding your brain with? And what I mean is like, when you're around people who doubt you, okay, which means telling you to stop it, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to call them the doubt people. Okay. The unconscious doubt people who you're triggering their insecurities. And by the way, like, big thing was with my ex, it was like the thing that really started to shut me down on my journey was, I've always had big dreams, big money, luxury, wealth, really taken care of, super yachts, private jets. You've heard me, right? I'm sure you've heard me if you listen to me. And because I was so excited about my life, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And I'd shared that with my partner at the time, and he'd shut me down. Why? Because it triggered all his insecurities, and he's like, oh, well, I can't give that to her, so she might leave me. And or he's like, all his money stuff came up. And so he would say to me, oh, you don't need that, or I just like you the way you are. And like, he was so scared of losing me, and it really affected not only our relationship, but the way that I showed up in my business and the trust for myself and my purpose. And for me, I was confused. For me, I was really confused because I'm like, I'm sharing this with you because I'm excited. I don't expect you to buy it. That's what I'm doing this for. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't expect you to provide that. It was like this thing, right? So who you're hanging around and who you're listening to is really important. Like I said at the start, you can be around those people, but it's going to take extra work. Now, the thing is that listening to my mentors has become a thing. I'm a single mum, and the routine's changed over the years as my daughter's grown, of course, but at the current stage is like, I'm always listening to my mentors, like whatever trainings I sign up to, whatever courses I'm in, whatever training, like one-on-one mentors, like mentoring that I'm in with them, and the trainings that they hold, like I have them on repeat in my ears, or every time they release a new one, I'm listening to it. Why? Because it keeps me on track. I don't want to listen to my family telling me to go and get a normal fucking job. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? Fuck off. You're not going to support me? Fuck off. Like, not in that way, but it's like, it's like, can we agree to disagree? And can we agree that we're different? Or are you just really going to continue to tell me and be embarrassed for, like, whatever story? Anyway, the point is that constantly listening to my mentors. So, as a prime example, like when I'm in the kitchen at nighttime or doing the nighttime duties, sometimes I just need music, but most of the time I'm like, it's time for me to multitask and listen to my mentors' trainings, because during the day I'm with my clients or whatever I'm doing running my business, right? And it's like, I'm constantly listening to my mentors in my ears, right? I fall asleep and I hear them over my thing, or, like when we read a book, or, when we watch a movie and then we're playing it out for days to come, that's because it's sinking into your fucking brain. So watch what you're watching, listen to what you're listening to, like pay fucking attention, because it's filling your brain and your subconscious, and it's training you to succeed or to fail. Plain and simple. We know that we are trained by societal all the things, right? And so when you're like, what are you listening to on a daily basis? It's really fucking important. Okay, it could be as simple as like, like listening to Louise Hay affirmations on YouTube. Like there's so many positive affirmations, like Louise Hay, even the Abraham Hicks series, like Esther Hicks, you know, like whatever mindset, like whoever resonates with you, whether it's me, I don't know, whatever other money mindset, like, you know, like other, like, because I listen to a few of them on YouTube then starts recommending some people, and there's some I listen to and some I'm like, oh, don't resonate. Others I'm like, oh, I love you, like, you know, and it's like I listen and I'll listen for a chunk of time and then someone else will come along, or I'll just go back to that person, or I really love their work and want to work with them more. Like you'll find what you resonate with, right? But it's like I'm consciously training my brain all the time. What am I absorbing? And that doesn't mean that I don't go and veg out and watch a Netflix series and whatever like that. It's really important, these reality breaks. But when we see, Madeline's like, I'm sneakily listening to you right now while I'm loading gym memberships at Mainstream Job. Exactly, right? And this is the thing. We can have our mainstream job. We can have our mainstream relationships. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to take responsibility for what you're feeding your brain, where your mindset and energy is, okay? Because these energy leaks around you, this is like, you know, like, oh, they drain me or whatever. I'm like, that's a you problem. That's not them. That's you, like, letting them drain you, okay? That's not them. You're the one letting them do that. This is a you problem, okay? So it's like you can multitask, you can have a business on the side and, you know, and support yourself with a mainstream job. Like there's so many entrepreneurs that do that in the beginning. I never did that. I went all in and it was probably the worst thing I could have done. I learned a lot and anyway. So, okay, let's, what's the next thing that wants to come through here? Okay. So many of us grew up broke, okay? And the thing is that we get comfortable being broke. Okay, and so we want more money, and the money blocks is like, more money comes in and it goes out faster, or what is the other thing here? Like, or you might have a lot of money but you're scared to spend it, or you might have a lot of money and you just spend it, right? There's a couple of things here, okay? People like Grant Cardone would say don't spend money. Don't save money. He would say don't save money. Right, Grant Cardone is a multi-billionaire. I watched him in 2017 and he was very close on the tipping point to turning to billionaire, and I watched him go from billionaire to multi-billionaire over the few years, okay? I listen to people like that. These are one of the people, if I find his YouTube or I find his Instagram or like, and it's like, who are you watching on social media? Who comes up in your feed? Like, is it people complaining about life? As soon as I see someone complaining about life, I'm like, unfollow, unfollow, unfollow. Sometimes it's unfriend, unfollow, unfollow. It's like you can train your social media feed. Like on my Instagram, it's Grant Cardone, or my other mentors, or super yachts, or whatever comes up. Like and then I'll, like, if I see too many of like crap stuff come up, I'm like, oh, what's going on here? It's like I'll purposely go on to like super yachts or private jets, like, you know, the tag or whatever, and just like watch a few or like a few and whatever. I'm like, bring it up in my feed, bring it up in my feed. You train the algorithm, don't let the algorithm train you. Okay? Mindset is everything. If you think you can't, you won't be able to. If you think that I don't want to do this anymore, but I know there's a way, I'm not giving up, but right now I want to give up, but I'm going to find a way and do it anyway, then that's what you're going to find. Oh, stuff on my shirt. So it's like, you know, if we're going to build something, we have to be so aware of what we are, number one, absorbing and listening to, and then what we are telling ourselves on a daily fucking basis. Okay, on a daily basis. So, okay, let me go here. Okay. So even when you have people around you that are not on this trajectory, okay, number one, you can do it, but it's really fucking hard. I personally chose not to do that. Okay, I personally chose to walk away from people and not spend time with people who are constantly complaining about money, who are, you know, sharing about the economy and how bad it is. Like, I personally do not hang around people like that. I have chosen not to. And if someone starts talking about it, I make an excuse and I leave the room, or I leave the group, or I literally do. Like, I'm that protective of my energy and who's around me. It's really important. Now, every time you hit a next level in your business, you might find there'll be like a chunk of people who come, like, you know, suddenly come around and are like, what's the story? Like, you know, they're suddenly talking about the money crisis or whatever, or how hard it is, but you haven't heard that for ages, and you're like, what's going on here? I haven't heard this for ages. I've been so protective of my energy. What's happening? That is your sign that, what is it? That like number one, you've broken to a next level. That's your sign for shadow work. This is time to integrate those parts because you're breaking through to a whole new frequency of earning capacity, of income level, okay? So when we look at, like, you know, there was questions that you guys had put in, you know, like you grew up poor and being broke. The thing is that when we've grown up poor, it's an energetic energy through our system, and not everybody, like being rich or having more money is not comfortable. It's not comfortable. So we've got this, like, what we're used to, okay? We grew up in it, let's say. That's what we're used to. When you're trying to break what you grew up in, okay, and what you're used to, that's the hardest bit. And it takes years. So if you're not willing to do the work for years, okay, then this is not for you. And I want to say, give up on your dreams and you will be happy. Kind of sounds familiar, that little phrase. Not even going to go there. It's true though. If you're not willing to do the work for years, then you may as well, and I want to say, give up on your dreams so that you can be happy, because then you're not longing for something and something you don't have, and oh, I'm a failure because I didn't keep doing it. Like, just give it up. Some people are so free when they just give it up because they're like, I actually didn't want to do that anyway. I thought that I did, but I actually just want to have a happy life and just have a normal job, and that's all I want to do. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But if you know that you want to break out of that level of wealth and like, you know, and really step out of the comfort zone, because I guarantee you will be uncomfortable 90 to 100% of the time if you're growing. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing and you're not pushing yourself to the next level. Okay, there's something there. And it's not like you have to push all the time, but you get the point, right? But literally, if you, and I will say it again, that if you're not willing to do this work for years, to release what you grew up in, okay? Let's say, for example, I'm just going to pick a random number. You're used to earning 30,000 a year or 50K a year because that's your job, that's your career, that's your income. That's what you're comfortable with. That's what your parents did. That's what your family does. That's what your friends do. That's like, really, that's what all your, like, everybody does that, right? This is part of who you're hanging around, who you're listening to. Oh, it's like, it's a big bubble. We know it's a big bubble of energy because we live in it. Right? We're comfortable in it. As soon as we start stepping out, everybody feels it. They're like, oh, where's she going? Wait, come back, trying to pull you down, because it's uncomfortable for us because you're changing vibrationally, energetically. We know when we do the work, it affects everybody. This applies to money and wealth at the same time. It's the same stuff. Okay? If you really want to step into higher levels of income, from going from 20K a year to 20K a month, okay, or even 10K a month, okay, it's going to be mighty uncomfortable because you're not just breaking out of a money mindset, you're breaking out of you're breaking generational karmic lineage of money and scarcity, fear and mindset, and you're breaking society training. You're breaking away from a web that we have been, that humanity has been created in as slaves. That's what we are. We're slaves to do their work. We know the 5 people that run the world, they own all the banks, they own everything. Like, we're the slaves that make the world run for them. Like, we are, okay? So when you're trying to break out, it's not just your friends and family, you're breaking away from that. Now, if you're not willing to do the long haul, okay, like I said, like, give up on your dreams and go and do a normal life and be, like, find your happiness in that. There's nothing wrong with that. I have literally mentored people to do that. Why? Because that's actually what they realize they want to do. The whole breaking out was, it was breaking out of their trauma, but when they realize they just want a relationship, they just want love, they just want whatever it is, it wasn't actually money, it was whatever, okay? But you can have both, you can do it all. But like I said, if you're gonna give up, we can give up and still keep going because you know you're born for this. But if you're gonna like, do you know what I'm trying to say, okay? If you're not going to be in it for the long haul and know that it's going to be hard, especially in the first years, okay, and all the things will come and test you, okay, But if you know that you're here for the long run, then this is for you. Okay, so number one, the comfortable of being broke, okay? It's what we're used to. You're going to be uncomfortable, you're going to be pushed, you're going to be tested. If you've got a strong, courageous heart that knows that you're here for more to impact humanity and are here to change the world and you're born for this, you're in the right place. Okay, so two things. When you grew up poor, the two things you need to keep asking yourself to see if this is for you or not, okay? And I see your comments coming through. Thank you for putting them. I'm definitely going to speak to them, but I'm going to do this training and I will come to the comments afterwards, okay? So keep going with them. It's awesome. Is why do you want to do this, okay? These are your driving factors that will either make you or break you and pull you back to the crabs in a bucket, which awesome analogy. I saw that comment, Tracy. It's like, this will make you. Why do you want to do it? Why? What is your reason why? And I want to say that why can definitely change, okay? When we're stepping out of survival mode and into wealth, we have different needs. We're not worried about the bills being paid anymore. We're not worried about putting food on the table anymore. We're not worried about where the next bit of money is coming. We're not worried about the global crisis. We're not worried about shit like that because we've stepped into wealth. Money, we've stepped into overflow. Money's always in account. More money. I can buy a multi-million-dollar house in cash. Like, we're not worried about putting food on the table. So the why changes when we step out of survival mode, and you have to remember when we're stepping out of society training, we're stepping out of survival mode, okay? So number two, number one, why do you want to do this? Okay, this is what will make you or break you. And what are you willing to do? Okay, what are you willing to do? Now, I meant to grab this. I want to show you this. Some of you have seen this on other trainings or whatever that I've talked about and done. It's my dream book. This is my dream book. It's the Field of Dreams. I didn't turn the camera around. It's the Field of Dreams. This is my dream book that I've had since I was spiritually awoken in 2005. It's full of like all my dreams, cutouts. It's like one of those those art books, and it's like, oh look, it says yacht, visited every continent in the world. This is to give you an idea of how long this takes. And I'm not saying like, oh, it takes forever, because we can manifest faster things, blah, blah, blah. But that's not what I'm talking about on this training, because that's really in deep training. But I want to give you an idea, okay? Have I given up on my super yacht private jet dream? I have at times, but deep down inside of me, I'm like, I still want that. I don't know why. Why do I even want that? Like, I don't even know why I want that. I just know that that's the life for me, right? So in 2005, I created this dream book. And look, I've even put dates on here. By 2011, because it was 2005 when I created this originally. By 2011, I want my yacht. Visited every continent in the world and reality awareness retreat. I still don't have my yacht. I still have not visited every continent in the world. I had a child and I stayed put. And reality awareness retreat, I still don't have that either. Have I given that up? No, but I literally said by 2011, I would have a yacht. I know it's back to front, visited every continent in the world, and reality awareness retreat. Just to give you a little prime example about how long this takes. Meaning, this is a life purpose. This is a lifestyle. This is a way of living, okay? So you're either gonna keep going and you're gonna question everything along the way, and you're probably gonna lose a lot of people as well. And then those people might come back, or they're not. What was the point I was showing this? I was getting this dream book for another reason. So in the start of this dream book, I put these little things in. Be willing to do what your soul wants to do. Be willing to do what your soul directs you to do if you want to create what you are asking for. This is why you're a spiritual, badass, driven entrepreneur who's here to change the world. Look, reality awareness, mission statements, awakening the consciousness of humanity, consciously creating your dreams. The Reflected Spirit is my name of my crystal shop franchise whenever I have that in the future. I don't know if I'm still going to do that, but it's there. Take your passion and make it happen. I prosper wherever I turn. These are affirmations that I've said for a long time. Have I lived in total luxury and abundance? No, I've been a single mum struggling on the pension to build my business, right? And it's like, that was in 2005. I know I've meant to do this, and I haven't given up. Who are you hanging around and what are you willing to lose and sacrifice? Because I guarantee you will. And the thing is, I'm glad that you will. Because those people that are trying to drag you down and those people that are putting you down do not deserve to be there when you're shining up on stage and you're traveling the world in your jets. I'm just going to use that example. You get the point, right? So notice who is around you, okay? Really important. All right, so let me just have a quick look here. Okay, so there were some questions around, like, you started a business, you invested in good courses, but they didn't work. And I'm like, well, that means you gave up. Two things here. When I first began back in 2005 again, like I knew I was meant to do all this stuff, and I did like is it Amway? I did Amway. I did these other supplement company. I don't even remember the name of it now. No, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember. Like I did all these. I signed up, got all their products, did all their things. I even did door knocking. I did like all this stuff. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing back then. I was just, I don't know, I was fresh into it. Definitely wasn't online. Wasn't even a yoga teacher back then, right? I was just did this spiritual course and I knew this was my dreams and my visions. And I'm like, every opportunity almost, I'm just like, oh yeah. And they sold it to me well, like the Amway or whatever, let's say, right? I don't have anything against like multi-level marketing companies, but when I hear people say, one of the questions was I started a business and, you know, good investment and good products and whatever. And I'm like, but was your heart in it? Was your soul in it? I know that Amway or any of those other multi-level marketing companies didn't work for me, not because they're multi-level marketing. Some of the top billionaires on the planet are in multi-level marketing simply because it's an income stream, right? Again, the wealthy mindset is not just one income, it's multiple incomes. Any multi-millionaire, billionaire will tell you that. They don't just have one income, for fuck's sake. They have multiple, okay? Because this is where we start talking about, and I'm going to touch on it in this training as well, because some of you asked about it, like, why do I spend money? Why do I save money? Why do I not want to, like, you know, spend my money, or I just spend money? And I'm like, why are you spending it, or are you investing it? Because some people can look at my $80,000 Australian investment, paying money to my mentor to work with her for 3 years, right, as a waste of money. Right? That's a house deposit. I could have a house, but I chose to invest in learning from a multi-millionaire who is traveling the world and like living a dream life like I want to do, like I've always had, traveling every continent, right? I invested my money, right? My little money that oh my God, I could just make the first payment. Fuck knows how I was going to make the first 30K, like US dollars. So 50K Australian in the beginning. I didn't even think about that. I just was like, oh my God, I can make the first payment. I'm in. Right? Now, I don't recommend doing that if you're not willing to turn up and do the work. But I'm the person that's willing to turn up and do the work. If I sign up to something, I'm fucking there. She was on the other side of the world. I was getting up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., listening to her trainings every fortnight or whatever. But that was on their daytime. But I invested and I wanted to be there live, because when you're there live, you receive so much more, and it's downloads, and then you can watch the replay, and then you can take notes, right? But it's like you get activated by someone, and this is the thing, like, here I am, single mom on the pension. I'm like, she's living the life that I want. Let me learn how to do that. What does it cost? I don't know. Am I going to show up? Am I going to invest? Oh my God, I can make the first payment. I'm fucking there, right? But like I said, I wouldn't recommend doing that if you're just going to be like, oh, I invested and it didn't work for me. Like, but if your heart and soul is in it, fucking go for it. And if you need to try multi-level marketing things and they don't work for you, the only reason they didn't work for me is because I didn't believe in the product. I was like, it's a good cleaning product, whatever. Like, maybe you're really passionate about good cleaning products. Awesome. Whatever the fuck lights you up, that's what you need to run with. Because the thing is that whatever sells is energy. People want to be in the energy. It's the energy, it's the energy, it's the energy. It doesn't matter what it is, time you fuck it up. I want the energy. I want to be around that vibe. I want to be around that mindset. I want to be around that lifestyle. Fucking get it to me, because my family and my friends, they're not living the life I want, and I want to feel my energy and my vibe and my mind with this. Let me be there. So when you say I started a business or invested in good courses, when I'm like, and I wrote as my little notes, it's only as good as what you implement. You can learn all the things, you can read all the books, you can listen all to the mentors, but if you do not take action in what you're being called to do, you will not succeed. Why? Because the thing that creates movement is action. It doesn't just come when you're just sitting there listening. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that, okay? So when we are like, okay, where we're up to. Yeah, so like, does it resonate with your soul? If you don't believe in the product, you won't sell it. If your energy is not behind the thing, it won't sell, right? If you don't love it, there's no motivation there. Okay. And just back on that too, is like, why do you want to do something? What I meant to say is, for me in the beginning, it was me getting off the government pension and being able to support myself. Now, I began online in 2016, and in 2019 is when I got off the government pension. What's that? 16, 17, 18, 19. What's that? 3 to 4 years. Hello, can you see? 3 to 4 years it took me to get off government pension. 3 to 4 years. Solid, turning up, dedicated, people leaving my life, my boyfriend breaking up with me, my family disowning me because I do this psychic shit. I was in the darkest of days and the horrendous grief and heartbreak of my entire fucking life. The whole of 2019, I didn't realize at the time, I was depressed. I'd lost my motivation, and because like my family disowned me at the end of the previous year, and I didn't know. I didn't know how to handle that. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know that I was depressed until I moved to this house, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what happened in 2019 when I lost all my drive. I didn't realize my family affected me that much, because I fucking love my family. I was like, is that what I've always thought of? Like, it was a huge process, but I still showed up. I still did my trainings. I still turned up to my clients. I still ran my business. You can be going through the darkest of days, but you do not give up on your dreams. Okay? You'll have low moments. You'll have high moments. It's called business. It's called life. Are you giving up on life and your dreams, or are you going to let them take you down with them? Crabs in a bucket. Thank you for that analogy. I love it. I haven't heard of that, and I haven't, and I'm like, it's brilliant. Okay. Just checking with these notes. Long training. What a surprise. If you're listening, you're going to shift. Okay. All right, so started in business, invested in good courses, but we've covered that. So it's only as good as what you implement, but does it light up your soul, right? And like I said, there's definitely good, successful business people out there, who love their multi-level marketing products. Like, awesome, but you've got to love it. Otherwise, it just won't work. It didn't work for me, right? If I look back, I'm like, number one, maybe I wasn't ready for that level of success, understanding, like, definitely, I know that too. I wasn't ready for that. For sure, all the way back then when I was 21, I just didn't have that mindset or be around people who even did that. It just wasn't. But when I also look back, I didn't believe in the product. I was like, oh, so I wasn't passionate about selling it, right? Get me talking about spiritual stuff. Oh my God, I won't shut up. Okay, so we've got that. So investing is only if you are going to turn up and take action alongside it. Otherwise, do not invest in it, right? Just hoard your money and just sit there and give up on your dreams, okay? Important. Like I said, when I say these things, I'm not saying it like you're a bad person, you're giving up on dreams. I'm like, you need to find what's right for you, because the thing that I'm going to talk into about now is that turning up and doing your spiritual based healing passion business, right? Doing your healing, whether it's writing a book, sorry, I'm looking for a deck of cards, doing this, we do this like we just do it like without even thinking. It's natural for us. We fucking love it. We talk about crystals all day. We can meditate. We can teach people a yoga class. We can do all these things like get me to say, like, we could do that all day. And then we have to run our business. Hang on a sec. I forgot. Yeah, it's right here. What you have to understand, this is so crucial if you're going to make it or if you're going to fall back and not make it. Make or break, baby. This is so crucial to understand. And it took me fucking 8 years to understand. It took me 8 fucking years. It took me 8 years to understand this. I'm giving away such a gold mine on this fucking live stream. Oh my God. It took me 8 years to understand this. Some people will be like, oh, I know that. Some people will be like, oh my God. It took me 8 years to fucking realize this, okay? I'm just gonna... Hang on. This is a beautiful crystal representing the spiritual realm and a psychic ball. because we're psychics and wealthy witches, and we do this stuff without even thinking about it, okay? We can do it in our sleep. Oh, that's right, we do. But then we have to run our business. Two separate things. Feminine. Oh my God, I should have turned the camera around. I need to get in the habit of that. Masculine. Feminine, masculine. The only reason, and trust me, along the way of building my business for 7 years online, I see people surpass me and in similar industries, and they're like my coach made $9 million in her financial year last year. She started in 2018. And I'm like, I started in 2016 and I've only made $1 million in 8 years. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I need to learn from this woman, number one. And then I'm like, what am I missing here? Now, there was a lot of things that I realized in comparisonitis that paralyzed me. Number one, she had a husband, supportive partner, blah, blah, blah. So like, let's just be real. There's a few factors here. But number one, also mindset, showing up, all these things. But also, I personally had a lot of masculine wounding, trauma, abandonment. That's what this is. That's what this is. That's the structure. That's earning money. That's receiving money, feeling safe, to have a solid foundation, to have support, protection. That's masculine trauma wounding. And because I'd worked on that on years, but I hadn't really like healed the core of it, I wasn't ready to let this flood into this and support me, because I'd never felt supported by a masculine. Okay, I had an alcoholic, abusive, no, my father wasn't abusive, my stepfather was. He was an alcoholic, but I had an alcoholic father. So it was emotionally unavailable, lived on the side of the country. You get the point, right? Because I had all of that trauma wounding, I was blocked to receiving because I wasn't letting it come in. Does that make sense? So I could get up and live stream and be so creative, and you've seen how much fucking content I've created over the past 7-8 years. Like, you go to the self-help page on my website, it's fucking loaded, right? Because I just got up and created. This is really good. I made a little bit of money. I made like 20K months. It's pretty standard now. 20 to 50K months is pretty standard now. In the beginning, it wasn't. It took me 2.5, write this down. It took me 2.5 years to make $6,000 in a month. 2.5 years. Before that was like 500, I think. And I think it was like 18 months and I made $1,700 in 1 month. 18 months it took me, okay? Just giving you some perspective here, okay? Now, it doesn't have to take you that long, okay? That's why I'm giving you all these tips and tools and know what to heal your money blocks. Okay, there's so many different money blocks. Number one is mindset. Okay, number two is the trauma wounding we have about that, okay? So it's all good to get up and do your spiritually based business, but you have to understand that doing your creative passion and running a business are two separate things. They're two different learnings. They're two different skill sets. So important. It's a skill to run a business. It's a skill to run a business. Now, you do not have to learn business inside out to be able to do it, but I guarantee you want to learn from mentors who have done it because they've gone through it, and you learn from like that $80,000 Australian investment that I invested in my mentor when I did not have that. I didn't have the fucking turnover in my business. I was only on like, I don't know, 5K, 10K, if I was lucky, if I had, so otherwise it was like $700 a month. Like, I didn't have that money coming in. I didn't have $80,000 sitting in my bank to invest in my mentor. I just knew that I needed to learn from her, and I was willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes, and be directed by my soul to learn what I needed to learn. Because, interesting, right? All of this has been groundwork, laying the foundation for my bigger dreams, my super yachts, my retreat centers, all the things around the world. If I didn't learn this, there's no way that I can ground in a reality awareness retreats around the world if I don't know how to run business. Like, come on, like, it's a skill, okay? And the thing is that when we're willing to do whatever it takes and break out of societal conditioning, we are willing to learn new skills. That feels overwhelming. So when we learn a new course, when we step into a mentorship, like we're absorbed, like we're like an energy adjustment, we're like being pulled up to this realm and this level, because we've been down here with all these people who are not doing their dreams, which is totally okay as long as they're happy. You know, it's kind of like you're going to be pushed outside the comfort zone. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be breaking down. You're going to be wanting to walk away. You're going to be doubting yourself, but you know this is what you're born for. So have to remember that you can be the best healer in the fucking world, but if you don't understand business, then you're going to not even stabilize new levels of wealth. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might earn a bit of money here and there, but all your money mindset stuff, right, will keep you at a certain level. Okay. So for me, like this whole money mindset and breaking through different levels, it's a whole nother training in itself. I have a lot of like paid trainings, the Manifesting Magic course, how to build your business online. It's got all of that stuff included in it. You know, and if you're ready to like go gung ho and really do this, just comment Manifesting Magic below and I'll send you that. It's like all the training to do, like how to build your online business, from all the tech and then all the mindset. The thing that I was doing when I wasn't earning money in my business, or I was just fumbling around figuring out what I'm doing for those first 2.5 years, I wasn't very busy, right? I didn't have many clients. There was one here and there, whatever. The one thing that I was doing, journaling, took up the majority of my day. For like 90% of my day, I was journaling about my business, right? I've got all my beautiful journals here. I'm going to just pull a random one off the shelf because I didn't think about this earlier. And I love a good, beautiful journal. I love having my coffee in the morning and I love journaling. You've probably seen my, what's it called? You've probably seen me share this before if you've been hanging around me for a while. It's like when I get stuck on what I want to journal about, I pull out my Journal Love folder. And this is me printing out affirmations that I love over the years and placing them in a folder so that I can pull out and randomly pull out my mentors, trainings, notes, or affirmations that I've written down that I love from Louise Hay or wherever else I've found them along the way. And then I just open up my journal and I start writing them word for word. Sometimes it'll flow onto other things. Sometimes it'll just be what's in there. So let's have a look here. 19th and 9th, 21. I'm creating the best life ever and it's happening so fast. The billionaire status, it was so many people to care and worry about. And so this is like me going into my fears. I'm like, my fears about being a billionaire. I'm like, oh my God, I have to like look after everybody. It's like all the people pleaser stuff, right? $250,000 payments is normal for me, for Reality Awareness to receive that. Like I've been journaling this stuff for years, okay? This is a recently, like this is 2021. I've got my other 2018 ones. But look, I've still got all my dreams in the front there, super yachts, luxury cars, my beautiful witch, because we lost him. This one. Persistence is the essence of success. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan, press on, has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. Press on, keep going, do not give up. Okay. Just seeing if anything wants to jump out about this. No, I'm going to keep going. Okay. So, because you have to understand that if you really want to do this, you're going to have to push yourself outside your comfort zone and learn about business. Okay. Sure, you can hire someone to do all that if you have the backing. I never had the backing. And then also someone said a question about like, how do you start a business when you don't have anything? And like, there's 3 ways to build a business. Okay. Get a loan and invest that into that. Have an investor invest into it, or every single thing that you earn goes straight back into the business. And I heard that from a millionaire share that probably 2 to 3 years into my business. And I didn't even know that, but I'd just been doing number 3. Everything I earned was just straight back in. Like it was just, I earn more because then I can pay my mentor, or I can pay Kajabi, or like, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, this is what I did. Right? It's like, where are you spending money? And right, the most crucial thing, this is like big piece of training. I still got more to go. You want to write this down. The crucial thing that you want to be doing right now, right? If you want to earn more money, whether you're building a business or not, the most crucial thing that you need to do to stop doing is to remove the words from your vocabulary and never say those dirty, gross, horrible words ever again. Do not ever let your mind or your voice say, I can't afford it. Because you know what? It's a fucking bullshit lie. And if you're going to perpetuate your own bullshit lies and create your reality with I can't afford it, then you're definitely not going to make it. Because the people who tell you, there's a really crucial piece here too, by the way, when you're building a business, when people tell you they can't afford your services, what they're really saying is, I don't trust you yet. I'm inquiring because I like what you're saying and I resonate, but I don't trust you yet. Because the reality is everybody's got money. Every single fucking person's got money, even when they say they don't, because they do, because then they'll go and buy a beautiful bottle of wine, or they'll pay their rent, or they'll pay their car or their mortgage or whatever it is. They've fucking got money. They just, when you say something, you say, I'm choosing to place my money elsewhere right now, because that is the truth. Number one, truth and honesty will always bring a higher vibration rather than lying to yourself and perpetuating a negative cycle. Throw it out the window. Never ever use that vocabulary ever again. I am choosing to place my funds elsewhere at this time, but I'm choosing to save, or I'm choosing that I'm going to place my funds there in a minute. It's the truth. Okay? So when somebody says that to you, if you are building a business, just know that, like, sometimes I train people in that as well. And sometimes I'm just like, they're just not ready yet. Plain and simple. It's not on you. And they're perpetuating their own cycle too. So really important. Never ever say those words ever again. They're horrible. Okay. Just want to check here. Okay. So someone had said, I love spending money, but at the same time, I'm scared to. And it makes me feel like I'm wasting money. Okay, so that is a mindset. That's a mindset, okay? Any like wealth building, really strict, like not in the spiritual realm, like, you know, wealth teacher, let's say, would say, don't buy a car, it's a bad investment. But for me as a single mum, it was the best investment that I could ever do. Right? It gave me freedom. We were able to go on the road trip. I feel great driving my car. But on a wealth scale, yes, buying a car is a bad investment because you lose money on it. It doesn't build money for you, right? So it's kind of like, you know, there's getting out of survival and then there's learning wealth. Yep. Getting out of survival stage 1 and then level 2, stage 2 is learning wealth. Okay? As I said, when we become wealthy, we're not thinking and worrying about our bills being paid. We're not worried about putting food on the table. We become a different person, usually a more heart-centered one. We become more of who we are because we're not worried in fighting in survival. We can do the things we want, like give to charities or become a charity or whatever, whatever you want to do. Okay. So just checking here. Okay, so mindset makes everything work. We've really touched on that. Touching on those horrible words. Okay, the other thing as well, especially in the spiritual business game, when you do start to step up, and like I said, like I didn't, okay, and another thing I want to point out is, like, I don't want you to go and take a 4-year university degree learning about business to then start your spiritual business. Fuck that. Learn it along the way, especially if you know that you're here to impact humanity, create massive change, and this is what you're born to do. Okay, learn it along the way, learn it from mentors. I mean, if you're called to go to university, do that, trust yourself over what I say, but I'm like, do not, like that's a sabotage to this. And then if you like do this bit of work, you are doing a bit of business, but then you halt, you must, if you're doing this spiritual work and running a business, have my healing from the witch hunts meditation. Because every time you step up in your spiritual business and you get halted and sabotage or whatever the thing is that in a past life, somewhere along the line, you were doing your healing work in whatever capacity and you got killed for that. So when you step up and do this spiritual work again now, your body, soul, mind, body system says, I got killed last time, I'm not going to do that, so we're not going there, and everything will halt you. You get my healing from the witch hunts meditation, you listen to it, you heal that stuff, and then you shift to the next level. And it can happen at lots of levels, okay? So that's on my website, on the audio meditations page. That's a really good one to have when you're going through this. It's like crucial, okay? Because otherwise you will keep halting. Okay, so, and I just go through my notes to make sure I cover everything here. So it's crucial to stop saying those horrible words. Anything you catch saying to yourself, right? So anything you're like, oh, I know my parents used to say that to me, or money doesn't grow on trees, or it's hard to come by. Like, it's like, for fuck's sake, that's not my reality. That was your reality. I'm breaking the chain. I've got that running. Let's rewrite that, okay? And we rewrite that by, you know, there's a thing is like, there's journaling, okay? And there's you know, journaling and not taking action, and there's journaling and taking action. I'm really conscious of what I fill my brain with. I love writing it down. It's way more powerful. Listening to music, anchoring it in. So when I'm listening to that music during the day, this is being reactivated. Like, it's really, really crucial. Every single fucking day you need to be doing this, okay? If you're not, don't even bother building a spiritual business. Do not even try and breaking out of these generations, the survival into wealth. Like, don't even bother. Because you just give up on your dreams and just be happy, like, please, okay? Because it's a waste of energy and you're going to be in more turmoil going, it's not working, when you're not willing to go the whole way, okay? Journaling mindset is crucial every single day. It should be a big part of your day every day, and not just when you're journaling. It should be through the day as well. Catch those thoughts. The most powerful thing is catching those things that surface, because the more you go into it, the more you do this manifesting work, the more stuff will come up of all the stuff that is not what you're saying. Because remember, you grew up in shit. There's a lot of shit. And when you start changing it, it's like this tiny little bit of a time compared to all this time you grow into it. It's like a big fucking anchor and weight, right? It's a little bit big anchor and weight to, like, it's a big anchor. It's a big weight. It's a big anchor, okay? And so this is where I'm like, if you're not going to go the whole way for the longer period of time, this gets longer and longer and longer and longer. This gets clearer and clearer and clearer, okay? But in the beginning, it's going to feel like it's not working and that everything's coming up to stop you. And I'm like, because it is, because your reality and your body, nervous system, your whole societal survival is like, it's not feeling good. It's uncomfortable. And like this is where the spiritual tools come in. This is where the work comes in. This is where healing your core wounding come in. Masculine wounding, feminine wounding, you know, like all of those pieces play into it. So in Trust the Intuition, in my signature program, it opens, early bird opens September, October. We're going to do the course next year. 9-month course, go through, heal, and then your certification to be able to step into this as a business. If you choose, you don't need to do it as a business, but it helps all these tools to help the core wounding, right? And so you can use them with your money blocks, because it always comes back to core wounding from childhood, from past lives, from all those pieces. Like, and this is where it's like mindset and success is 80% internal work, 20% out there. You see that, right? So it's really important. Okay, so anything you catch yourself saying, like, you're like, oh, that came from my mum. Oh, that's what they believed. What do I want to believe? Crucial. What do I want to believe? Not like, oh, that's what they said, and leave it at that. It's like, no, that's what they said. Erase out of my system. What do I want to believe? I'm going to write it over 50 million times. A lot of the pages, I say the same things over and over and over and over and over again, because I'm rewriting new beliefs that have been 20 years of me, like, living that life. It's going to take a bit of time to rewrite that. Then the wounding's going to come up. Then I'm going to do the tools, and then the energetic new frequency is going to come in, because I'm not being weighed down by that anymore. This is why it takes time. Okay? And the more you do this, the lighter you become, the less baggage you're carrying, the easier it's going to become. And then there's instant manifestation that happens. Why? Because you've cleared all the shit, but that takes time, and most people don't do the time and go through the hard stuff to get there. That's why they see the success of people, they're like, I'm not there yet. It's like, well, you fucking gave up, didn't you? You were hanging around the wrong people. You didn't invest in yourself. You didn't put yourself in spaces where people were elevating it in this space. That's why I invested $80,000 in my mentorship with my mentor, and more. Like, that's just one of my mentors, right? It's probably about 300,000 that I've invested over the years, let alone business investments and business expenses on top of that, because everything that I've earned in my business has gone back. I don't own a house. I'm still paying off my car. Like, do you know what I mean? Why? Because I'm more passionate, not more passionate. I know where I'm heading, and that requires an investment in me to put everything back into my business still today at this point. Right? Now, of course, we can grow faster, and different, like, avenues of income can help us do faster. I haven't done that yet. I'm at a point where I'm just like, okay, now's the time to, like, get other wealth income streams coming in. Like, and it's taken me time, because I've stepped out of that survival, and it's fucking been hard, right? Like, it's so hard that I wanted to give up. And this is the thing where I'm like, you will be successful if you just keep going. But you have to be hanging around the right people. You have to be in the right mentor trainings. You have to be around people who are doing this also. So important, so important. Okay. Okay. And never having enough and all these things, like that's a mindset. Okay. That is a mindset. Okay. And you said touch more on journaling. Awesome. I will. Because the mindset is everything. And like, I could do a whole mindset course, and I actually do have mindset courses. So in Manifesting Magic, it includes everything, but then I also have Intuitive Business Starter. I think it's $97, and it's literally all the mindset. Like there's so much mindset trainings in there. Like it's everything. I created Intuitive Business Starter. I think it's $97. I'll just check now. Intuitive Business Starter is literally like, I'm pretty sure I'll double check, but there's like all my printouts of all the affirmations that I personally have written over the years. Other like mindset trainings, teachings. Like if you want to learn journaling, Intuitive Business Starter is for you. Like it's quite ridiculously full of all the mindset stuff, especially if you're in this game. Like and everything that I teach in Intuitive Business Starter is what I did for the first 2.5 years that I still do today. But that 2.5 years, I wasn't busy with clients, but for 90% of my work day, that's what I was working, journaling. Like I was journaling all day. It seems ridiculous, but I remember like, you know, like before breakfast, after breakfast, like if I had done my work and done my posting and done my live stream for the next 4 hours, I'm journaling for 4 hours. And I know it seems crazy, but I knew where I was heading, and I knew the mindset that needed to be able to anchor in and become who I am, because you have to become the millionaire in your mind. You have to be this person before it happens. We hear about that stuff all the time, right? But it's like, this is literally like, we create our reality through what we're absorbing, through our mindset, through all of these things. Of course, stuff's going to come up along the way, but it's like I love writing. Some people don't like writing, but I'm like, if you don't like writing and you want to create a business, I'm like, you need to train yourself to learn to write. The thing is like in this, you know, in this, you're going to break through and you're going to be able to do both or not, is that everything you say, oh, I'm not good at that. Oh, I can't do that. Like that's a closed mind. That's you blocking abundance. That's you blocking your purpose, right? And the thing that's really, I guess, left me in awe is there's been so many things that I've seen my mentor say, nah, that's no good. No, don't do that. No, don't. And then I see her turn around and do it. And I'm like, for me, it took me a little bit to understand. I was like, that's so like, why would she just say that and then go and do it? And then I started, because I'd asked the question, the universe started showing me. And then I started seeing these other mentors talking about it. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And I'm like, where am I saying I can't do something? Where am I saying, nah, that's crap? Where am I saying no? Because my mentor and other mentors, obviously, this is the open mind and the willingness. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I see this before? Like everything that, no, too hard, I don't do that, don't have those skills. They've then gone into that. It's like the shadow, right? It's kind of like, that's your next thing. You know, when you're triggered by something, but it's actually your next level growth. When you're like, no, I don't write, I don't do business, I don't do computers, I don't do that. And I'm like, oh, I'm too tired. That's the other really, it's like, no, that's sabotage, right? This is where it's like training the skills and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. What's that? Oh, the comfort zone we were talking about before. Pushing yourself out of the comfort zone, pushing yourself to learn these skills, pushing yourself to do this, like this is part of the growth. This is part of running a multi-million-dollar business. If you don't want to do that, then go give up on your dreams, go and do that, right? Said it so many times. Okay. So my Intuitive Business Starter for intuitive healers who don't know where to start, but know they have to, want to, and that their soul calls them to this way of life. Freedom is and always has been what it's about. It is here that you spread your wings and fly. So it's creating an online intuitive business. Clients come to you without hustling and chasing them down and cold calling. And this is like, yeah, there's a whole video and audio training series in there. So I'm just checking, pretty sure it was 97. Yeah, it's 97. I'll just pop that link in here for you guys. That's why I'm talking about it. Okay. That's where I'd definitely start, because it all starts from here. And then once you start working on this, you're going to get ideas. You're going to expand your brain, your mind. When I journal, ideas come in for my business. That's how I've created my business, right? These pieces of gold, right? So And you'll get ideas about the next step, whether it is signing up to a mentor and investing in long-term mentorship with people who are wanting to do this, or whether it's investing in the online platform and like doing that, or doing it all and doing it all at the same time. Like, you will know from this. Okay, so Intuitive Business Starter, really the first place to start. But like, don't just buy it and don't do it. If you're not gonna like log in and do it, don't worry about wasting your money on it. Go and buy the good bottle of wine for $100 instead, right? Okay. But don't complain that you're still going to be in the same place, same sad sop place in 5 years' time, when you should have invested in your mindset instead. Just saying. If you're not going to do it, just be happy not doing it though. That's the thing, right? Okay. So spending money, worthiness attached to spending it where, blowing it or investing it. We sort of talked about that. Yes. Okay, and so then this last point, and then I'm going to go through the beautiful questions that you guys have popped in, or sharing the comments here as well. So, okay, so you want to make money, you want to build a business, but you want to be there for your kids. You don't want to get up at 5 a.m. You want to have a really good balance in life. And I'm like, you know what? Just give up on your dreams. Please just give up on your dreams, raise your kids, and be happy. Sounds harsh, I know. I told you guys you'd be triggered by what I'm saying on this live stream. I'm a single mum, okay? Sure, I've only got one child, but I have 9 cats. I have 2 dogs. I live on a property out in the middle of fucking whoop whoop. It's hard. I run a business all by myself. I don't have family to help, whatevers. Don't have a husband. Don't have other investments. Don't, like, whatever, okay? I get it. I am up at 1, 2 a.m. listening to my mentors' trainings. That's not every night, okay? That's every fortnight. I did that for 3 years solid. Sometimes I'd go back to sleep and get up at 5. Sometimes I would have a coffee and start work after the training, right? Say the training goes from 1 to 2, then I'm up at 2 with a coffee and I'm working, because I can get so much done until 6 o'clock in the morning when my daughter wakes up, and then we go and do her stuff. Sure, I have power naps, and I also make sure I'm in bed early. There's definitely a balance there, okay? But if you're going to use the excuse that you don't want to get up at 5 a.m. and you're not getting up at, and you're not staying up till midnight, right? It's all good if you want to sleep in till 8 a.m. and then do your kids, and you haven't been up till midnight working on your business and you really want to do this, just give up on your dreams, go and raise your family and be happy, please. Please save yourself the stress, okay? And they're like, oh, I should be doing that, but I don't want to do that. It's like, right, just give up on it, okay? And like I said, you're going to be triggered hearing the stuff I'm saying on here. But if you're not willing to do whatever it takes, okay, and find a way to make it fucking happen, give up on it. Focus on your kids, raise your family, be happy. But if you know that you're a spiritual badass entrepreneur who's here to create massive income and impact in the world and shift global consciousness, have wealth in the right hands of the heart-centered entrepreneurs who are here to support the planet to where we want it to go in the future, right? Then you will be getting up at 1 a.m. to listen to your mentor's training and going back to sleep until 6 a.m. Or you will be getting up at 3 a.m. and starting work. Like this last 2 weeks, I've been up at 3:34 every morning, because there is, number one, I work best in the mornings. In the early stages of my business, it was opposite. I was working till midnight, 1, 2 a.m., getting up at 8 a.m. or 7:30 whenever my daughter woke up. We're doing all homeschool stuff, whatever we had on our day, and I'd work late, okay? Like, if you're really willing to do it, you will find a way, not an excuse, okay? I'm too tired. I don't have time. A fucking excuses and sabotage. Like I said, do you really want to do it? If you don't, be honest. Number one step to awakening your life purpose, be honest with yourself and give up on your dreams and go and be happy doing what you're doing. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I have so many people come into my Trust Intuition course and they're like, yeah, I'm going to be this like healer and do all this stuff. And then they heal all the family wounding, and then they go and heal their relationships, and they're like, oh my God, that's just what I want to do. Right? Like, trust your intuition, okay? Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, you've got a consciousness, you've got a healing heart. That's what the community needs, right? Like, how do you know that you're not affecting global change doing that because you're following your heart rather than like, oh, I should be doing that, but I'm not? Let it go, right? But the thing is that Like, because when you say you want a good balance in your life, like for the past 2 weeks, as this example right now, I've been up at 3:34 a.m. Number one, because there's a training that I'm doing every week on a Friday morning, and it starts at 4 a.m. Why? Because 4 a.m. Yeah, I was gonna say 3. It starts at 4 a.m. because they're on the other side of the world, but I'm willing to get up because I'm willing to learn the next level of investing in my business and what that's taking me, right? I'm doing this, might be this for you at a time, might be this for you at a time, might be combined. Like, it's got to be both, right? What are you willing to do, okay? What's the next thing your soul's calling you to do? So if getting up at 5 a.m., you don't want to be up at 5 a.m., but you're a night owl and you're all good to work, well, do that at nighttime, right? But if you're not going to do either, just give it up, okay? Because that energy that you're like, oh, you should be doing that, but I'm not, is a waste of energy where you could be giving that full presence to your children and creating amazing memories rather than not being present for that. Okay, so important. This is one of the energy leaks, right? It's like, where are you pulling your energy, your own demons, pulling your own psyche away from where you just want to be? It's honoring hearts, heart chakra consciousness, right? Funny about that. We're just about to start heart chakra consciousness. So yeah, and so about the finding balance, okay? So coming back to been getting up at 4 a.m. and because I'm doing that training, it's like I'm learning a whole new thing. I'm like, I don't have time to do that during the day. I'm running my business, I'm being with my daughter, doing whatever we need to do. And it's like, you know, so I'm like, right, if I'm really gonna achieve in this course, which is gonna take my business to the next level, because I'm at this next level of expansion, it's like, I'm like, fuck, I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm up at 4 a.m. to do clients at 5 a.m. on a Thursday and a Friday morning. People who are like, I don't have time to run a business. I'm like, good, just go and raise your family and be happy. It's okay. I give you full permission to be the full feminine, like we're born for that. Okay, let's be real. So I have client slots at 5 a.m. from 5:15 a.m. on a Thursday and Friday morning, 5:15 a.m., 6:15 a.m., 7:15 a.m., and then I have a couple of later ones around lunchtime. Why? Because my daughter, as a teenager right now, she'll sleep usually. She's awake now, which is strange, but she'll usually sleep in. So I've already done my bulk clients through the day, and then I can be present with her because I want to do both. Okay, because when she grows up and leaves home and leaves the nest, I don't want to be like, fuck, what am I doing with my life? And I want to show her what we can do, right? But you don't have to do that. So about the balance thing. So for me, it's like, you know, and some people don't like doing that. Again, it's finding your flow and how it works for you. This is so important, okay? It's so important. Find your work. Balance for me is immersion, okay? We have this like convoluted, fucked up training from society because at school, we do English for, I'm exaggerating. We do English for 5 minutes, we do maths for 5 minutes, we do science for 5 minutes, we get a 10-minute lunch break, we do this subject and this subject in a day. That's what we call balance. I say fuck balance. Do you know what the natural way of learning for a child is? Is immersion. They will sit there for days on end on a project to learn it, and then they're completed and they move on to the next subject. That is our natural way of learning, our natural way and state of being. Did you know that? Did you know that our natural state of being is immersion, right? And so when we can release societal conditioning and get out of the freaking like, I've got to have balance in my life. For me, balance is working for 3 weeks solid, as an example, just throwing a random example because it's what it is at the moment. And I know it will be for the next week. Is my idea of balance is like 4 a.m. get ups, 4 a.m. get ups, it's 3:30 and I get ready and I'm ready by 4. You know, it's like straight in the shower, get dressed, hair and makeup, coffee, do the trainings, do my clients, 7, 8, have breakfast, start the day, whether it's doing stuff with my daughter or doing more work or whatever it is. And I could do that solidly for like 3 weeks. Because I'm completing a project, I'm immersing from start to finish to get this done for this next level of my business. And then for the next 2 weeks, I don't even sleep in really because my body clock, right? And I prefer and I love it. But that means that for the next 2 weeks, I'm catching up on sleep. And what I mean by that is I'm really dedicated going to bed at 7 because at the moment I'm in that like early to bed, early to rise phase. But like I said, in the start of my business, I was late to bed and late to rise. And this is a thing where immersion and the balance changes. Okay? Now, if you want to create a life and a structure where balance for you, because you work better with sleeping in till 7, getting up, taking your time, taking the kids to school, taking more time, doing your thing, spending an hour on your business, and then going picking the kids up from school and doing whatever, then you need to trust that, okay? But then in 5 years' time, when you're not ahead of where you want to be in your business because you do have a grand vision and you weren't willing to get up at 5 and you weren't willing to sacrifice things, I'm like, you can sleep when you're fucking dead, okay? And you can also like get up early or stay up late and still spend that present time with your kids, because that's really important to me. And that's why I do get up and have clients at 5 a.m. instead of when my daughter's up. I'd rather be up with her rather than with clients. So I work around clients when she's asleep. Does that make sense? Because those are really important values to me. So I'm going to make it work for me, because that's why we create our own fucking life in the way we want it in the first place. Hello. That's why we're a spiritual badass entrepreneur who is here learning about wealth, because you know you're here to create global impact, live a different life, and create the life of your dreams, because you were fucking born for this. You know it, you can feel it, and you're willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes, and be willing to do what your soul directs you to do, because this is your life purpose, and you're here for the long game. You're here for the life of your purpose, because you know this is a lifestyle, this is a mindset, this is who the fuck you are. If you're a wealthy witch, give me some thumbs up, give me some love hearts, let me know how this training was for you. And now I'm going to go through comments. So thank you so much for being here. If you know someone who would really benefit from this training, send them the link to the support group, or I'll probably put this in the Wealthy Witch free training series. Oh, there's going to be a series. So if you want to really start, the Intuitive Business Starter is where you start. Like, you know, if you're like I said, the first 2.5 years of my business, I was doing this. And then because I'd been journaling about how busy I am with clients, and I have clients just message me, want to book in with me, what began happening in 2018? Oh, this started happening. And then I didn't have all day to sit there writing about this, okay? But I was turning up and doing action as well. I wasn't just doing this. I was building my business. I was learning Kajabi. I was turning up on live stream. I was turning up on blogging every day. Like I said, I was a single parent on a pension, okay, on the government's pension. And my first goal was to get off the fucking pension. It took me nearly 4 years to do that, okay? Every single day, because I didn't have a backing of investors or a loan or anything like that. I turned up, I did it organically, and I turned up every day, blog and live stream, blog and live stream, blog and live stream. So I got so much fucking content on my website, because every day I was blogging and live stream. I didn't know what to talk about. Just get up and talk, and the spirit comes through, okay? So important. So Intuitive Business Starter is where you start, but you must be taking action at the same time, okay? It's both. It's so important, okay? Anything else and you're like not taking action, do the Healing from the Witch Hunts meditation, because there'll be an energetic, like your soul's like, you got killed last time, not doing this, and your body's like, and so you will stop. You just won't do it. So Healing from the Witch Hunts meditation is your best friend. You can find that on my website under the audio meditation page, but I'll put the link in the comments here as well for that too. Okay, transmission complete. I'm going to go through the comments here. Thank you for being here. And my wealthy witches, you know, if that does call you, so there's two options, right? There's the Life Purpose Accelerator, which is absolutely everything. Okay, it's the Trust Intuition to become a certified intuitive healer course. It's all my courses that I've ever released in all time, and any course that I release in the future when you're working with me for that 12 months, you get for free. It's included because you're in the inner circle. So Life Purpose Accelerator is 12 months working with me. If you want to really accelerate your business and really fast track and not take as long as I did to do things, Life Purpose Accelerator is where you want to be. Otherwise, there's a 6-month mentorship, which is, it doesn't include everything, but it's 6 months working with me, and it is the Wealthy Witches training. So what we did here is like the free training. This is basic. You know how I was saying when we're talking about money mindset on life, like that's a whole training in itself, because that is deep. That is like solid, layered, so much intricate pieces with that alone, because it's the energetics, right? The thing that really drew me and why I signed up with the mentor that I did for those 3 years and really shifted me is because, sure, she talked about strategy, but what we really talked about is the energetics, the mindset, all the stuff that goes on inside, right? And I was just drawn to her over this other particular mentor at the time, and I understand why, is because she was really tapping into all the energetics. It was in all of those pieces, right? And so in the Medicine Woman, which is my 6-month mentorship. Every fortnight we're doing trainings. We're about to do the CRS training this morning of like actually like using our psychic skills, our CRS training skills to like actually do the not water divining. We're literally, what's it called? Like seeing into a crystal ball, but we're using the water. I'm really, really excited about that. I need to get off this shortly because we're going to start that soon. But there's the 6-month like Medicine Woman, and you can just sign up in that mentorship just for the trainings, or if you want to go to the next level, you've got the trainings and working with me for 6 months. That's Medicine Woman. Otherwise, Life Purpose Accelerator is the whole package. It's all the courses, which includes Medicine Woman, by the way, and it's Trust Intuition, and working with me. If you want to accelerate, that's where it is. Okay, so just going to check through these comments. Nalina says, can honestly say that it changed me. I'm open to change this. Yes, I'm open and willing to change. Louise Hay affirmations are brilliant. And this is the thing, like when I'm in the kitchen, like a lot of the time when I'm doing nighttime routine, I fucking don't want to do it. I've just been working all day. I'm a single mom. I'm like, especially when I'm about to bleed, I'm like, it's the last thing I feel like doing. You know, what do? I plug in my mentors, or I plug in Louise Hay, or I plug in something so my brain is absorbing something whilst I'm, you know, because when we're in that like sort of mundane state, it's the most time we're open, like when we're sleeping and stuff. And so I'm conscious of filling my mind with things, and it gives me something to focus on so I can just get the kitchen done, right? Multitasking, making it work for you, right? Madeline says, because you're a freaking badass, freaking keep going, yes. And I love that you're multitasking, listening to this while you're at the gym as well, Madeline. It's so awesome. Yes, Allison is ready and willing. I love it. So good. Okay, so just checking this here. So Madeline says, when you say that, Hannah, I can feel that's, for me, a belief that's not possible from external of me that I have unconsciously accidentally taken on in the past. Isn't it interesting, right? And this is the thing where we accidentally take on these things in the past. I'm aware of it. It's there, but it doesn't consume me. Exactly, right? And the more we do this training mindset, be around people that are, even if we're still around these people, right? We become stronger, and it doesn't affect us as much because we become more confident, we're more self-assured, we know where we're going, we're strengthening these muscles, and so we become stronger rather than this, and we absorb it. Like our energy becomes more of the strongest of what we're constantly telling ourselves and training our brain and our mind and our energy for, and our actions strengthen that 10, 50 million fold, right? As you say, it does not consume you like it used to. Exactly. The roots are slowly appearing through the surface soil. Exactly. And this takes time. This is why this is so important in the beginning, and it's constant, and you'll be challenged and all the things, right? 100%. I love that, Tracy. Family constellation healing around money. Yeah, it's so important, like to, you know, do this, but it's not like just, one thing and it's done. It's like, it's a constant training, right, of your energy and all of that. So yes. Okay, so Melon said it can take moments and experience to wave and wash around to figure out what we actually want. 100% too. 100% too. Yeah, heart and soul led. Yes. Yes, definitely the replay. Can listen to it over and over. Yes, investing. Yeah, it's so important, right? Because we think, we're wasting money or just not like holding on to money. It's like, no, movement creates movement. As Grant Cardone says, like, it's pointless saving money. Like, invest it into something that's going to be making you money, you know, like what's property. He's really big on property and other things, I'm sure. But, you know, it's like, and trust. And it's like, you know, and for me, I didn't invest in real estate or anything in that in the beginning. That's definitely in the plan. In the beginning, it was like, how do I do this? How am I, like, I was still figuring out what I even did online. I was still figuring out how I, number one, the tech, how do I run an online business? How do I show up? What's my message? Who am I? Like, I didn't even have a moon when I began. I didn't call myself an intuitive healer. I didn't even have Trust Intuition become a certified healer when I began in 16. I didn't have that. It wasn't a certification course. It was a psychic development course. And now it transformed into the certification. You see it today. It did not start like that. This is why turn up, start, action, action, action. So important, so important. Trust, yeah, and it's like invest in things that your soul is calling you to do. Like I said, like having an $80,000 investment. Number one, I didn't have the money. I didn't even look at the total cost, to be honest. I was like, oh my God, I can pay the first payment, get me in there, because I knew that I needed to absorb into that energy to be around it to grow where I wanted to grow. Like I said, don't invest in something if you're not going to show up. Don't invest in something if you're like, oh, I spent money on that, didn't work, because I actually don't want to do it. I just want to do my life. Like, be honest with yourself, okay? But if you know that you're born for this, invest in like, you know, Life Purpose Accelerator, Medicine Woman, like whatever calls you, right? To really like step into the vibe and be around people who are doing this, because that is going to accelerate and move you forward into these places, right? Okay. Yeah, the third one is you. And this is where I was saying, like, you know, to start your business, it's like, you know, get an investor, get a loan, or everything you earn goes straight back in. I was like that too. I still am today, 100%. Okay. Yes, the intuitive business starters, they're definitely the first place to start. Like, I've got so much mindset stuff. Like this is in that course. And I use that still today. Okay. You're so welcome. Thanks for existing. Kyle says, yes, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Danielle says, I just had my son transition out of the education system. That's huge. So glad he's out of the system into full-time apprenticeship. Love it. Yay, he's meant to be where he's meant to be. Danielle says, Trust Your Intuition is the most profound course I've ever done. Oh, I love it. Thank you. Yay. Aisling said, I could only get on now. I have healed myself like no other. First thought in your gut, always be sure of it. I'm also trying to have a baby. Awesome. Awesome. So trust where you're meant to be. So definitely watch the replay for this. Okay. Is there anything else that I need to talk about? Okay. Awesome. So if you want to move to the next level, it's definitely the Intuitive Business Starter. Okay, if you feel like you've got your mindset down packed and you know you're ready to invest in the next level, that would definitely be working one-on-one with me, Medicine Woman, where we have all the trainings. We definitely work on our CRS skills, but it's also really talking about the Wealthy Witches in the Millions business, really being able to grow and expand your mindset, your capacity to hold more, why we get stuck on those money blocks, like why do we only earn so much, and how do we actually break out of that and able to sustain that next level, right? So many people have like, oh yeah, a month, and then they drop back down, right? Because this is the comfort zone. It's like, that's not good for my system, gotta stay here. It's like, how do we break through and keep sustaining that without those big dips, right? So that's really like next level advance is so deep, and it's not something that just switches and happens overnight. Remember, this is lifelong, and this is where we start. So thank you for being here. If you've got questions and you're watching the replay, pop them in. I'll be back in, and I shall see you guys real soon.